All right, so we are here with Coach Justin and Coach Ashton from the North American Caribbean Training Method, and they're going to be joining us for a little while here to talk about an event that we're really excited about that we're going to be partnering with them on. So I'd like to just take a minute and introduce Justin and Ashton real quick, guys. Justin, why don't you go first? Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, thank you very much for having us. Really appreciate the opportunity, and we're definitely looking forward to working with IDEA Public Schools. So, our program is a variety of camps, and we're really excited now to do the combine with IDEA Public Schools, where we're going to feature college coaches who will be coming down and evaluating players. So, we're excited to be here, and definitely looking forward to this.
Awesome. And Ashton, I know you work more on the ground level, on the coaching level, Justin. So Ashton, tell me a little bit about what that experience is like. What can players from this area expect to gain from coming to a college ID camp?
Well, we have college ID camps out there, and there's college showcases. College showcases is more for teams. It's set up for teams, and teams will come to a showcase tournament style format, and you play games, and hopefully you get seen. But to get seen, you have to prepare months before that by reaching out to coaches and sending them videos and things like that. At a college ID camp, it's more individual. So one player can come on their own, not knowing anybody else there at that ID camp. And as long as they perform well, and of course, it'll be great to also have a resume with some video links on it for the college coaches to look at. Um, you will definitely be seen. So it's a numbers game. For instance, in Florida at Disney, it's going to be 300 teams there in December between the 27th and the 31st. Um, IMG runs theirs as well. So you have different areas that run, but these are huge. So again, if you don't reach out ahead of time to the college coaches, letting them know, first of all, I'm going to be there, what time their games are, what field it's on, things like that, more than likely you probably may or may not get seen. With the ID camp, you're guaranteed to get seen. It's a smaller event. When I mean smaller, it could still be 150, 200 kids there, but when you divide the amount of coaches by the kids there, it's a higher chance that you will be seen. And they break you up into teams. You train because college coaches want to see how you handle training doing drills, how quickly you grasp these drills, how disciplined you are in the drills, and then in the second part, which is more towards after lunch, then you play small sided games, and then eventually you play a full sided game. So they get a pretty good idea of the type of player you are, your personality, things like that. Um, just being out there for you for the whole day and watching you and observing you and watching your mannerisms and how you handle certain things.
Awesome. So what I'm hearing is, there's the showcase avenue, right, which a lot of players are familiar with because teams travel to showcases and things like that. But it can be hard to get seen unless you do some legwork, right? Sending emails to coaches, inviting them to games, which, by the way, we have our players do. That's part of our program. And so when we go to a showcase, we have our kids, weeks before during PE, sending out emails to coaches to invite them to games, right? So there's that legwork that needs to be done. However, in an ID camp, something like this, the kids are actually going to get to work with the coaches. Is that right? The coaches will run the training sessions.
Yes,
Awesome.
yes, that's correct. That's because they want to get a feel for you. Um, while one college coach is running a session, the other college coaches are watching keenly because, again, you're getting a more, how can I say, you're getting a more realistic view and feel, especially for high school players transitioning to college. High school to college is way different. So the intensity of the drills, the speed of play, everything is amped up. Everything is like, let's go, let's move, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's move. And a lot of high school kids may or may not be used to that. So it's a good way for them to see and experience that. So let's say from maybe 14, 15 years old, if they can start getting that experience of going to college ID camps, they get a pretty good idea of what to expect because it's the actual college coaches that are doing the drills and coaching you in the game part of the ID camp and things like that. So it's not going to be Coach Justin or myself doing it. It's actually college coaches that you're going to be having a conversation with and talking to, and they're going to be talking to you. And sometimes you might even get yelled at. Can you handle that? You know, and and that's just being realistic. You know, it's not baby talk like high school, although some high school coach can get intense. But you know, these guys, their jobs are on the line, just like a pro coach. You know, it's about wins and losses and things like that. So they're not going to be kumbaya and hold your hand. You know, they want to give an instruction once, maybe twice, and you got to be able to grasp that information and remember it and regurgitate it, give it back to them.
Sure, sure. And so I have a coaching background as well, and have been able to work in camps, but nothing at that level, right? But for me, when I hosted a camp, it was typically with youth players, and I wanted them to enjoy themselves, right? I wanted to make sure it was fun. I wanted them to leave with something, right? Having learned something. But it sounds like the objectives of this camp are different, right? These coaches are coming and they want to, number one, provide an experience that's going to be, similar to what it's going to be like to play in a college level, right? And see if it's the right fit for those kids,
Correct.
see if they're built for it, and then actually identify some kids that maybe they see qualities in, and you mentioned like the importance of like the training aspect. It's not just a game environment, that they get to see them in a training environment. And
Correct.
so maybe Justin, maybe you can share a little bit like what is some of y'all's experience as far as seeing what those characteristics that coaches are looking for, because again they're coming to identify players, right? And so what as a player, what maybe are they looking for that you can provide advice for now, so that if I do go to this camp, I know what some of the things they're looking for. What are some of those qualities?
Yeah, so I mean, every coach has a different objective, as to why they go to a camp. Every coach has different positions that needs to be filled. There are always a lot of factors. Every university also has different scholarships, so not everyone has 9.9 scholarships to work with. Some universities would rather recruit locally. Some universities are kind of open to recruiting domestically, and then some go internationally. So the level of your play is going to be extremely important. Is it better for a coach to spend domestically or locally than it is internationally? Of course, right? I mean, he could save money in his budget. They can develop, the necessary resource that they're needed to in order to run their actual programs. So grades, I would say, would be the number one thing. All right, every coach wants to know where are the kids at and where do they stand academically. The standard of a lot of these universities has risen tremendously. I remember Howard University, for example, in Washington, D.C., their standard was like a 2.2 GPA and maybe a 900 SAT score. And this was back in like the 2000s. Now it's a 3.5, and you have to have like a 1900 SAT score on a scale of 2400. I know the SAT scores have now changed its scale. So the grades, I would say, would be the number one thing. You always want to find the schools that are going to be best suited for your grades. So from an academic standpoint, the GPA has to be high, or at least a minimum standard as far as what the college is looking for. SAT, ACT scores. Some colleges take SAT scores, some colleges take ACT and SAT. Again, it just depends on it. And then when it comes to the playing field itself, a player like Ashton mentioned, if you have great video, good statistics, you're playing in a good club or a good league, or you're going to a good school, so it just really depends again on what that coach is looking for. All right. So those are the three things that I would say are important, as far as what players should be prepared for. The more prepared you are as a player, the easier it's going to be to transition into college, or it's going to be easier for that college coach to make that decision.
Yeah, and you use the word prepare there, and I think as athletes, sometimes people think like, oh, that means I need to prepare on the field, I need to practice, I need to get my skills up and things like that. But there's a lot of preparation you're talking about that is off the field. Like
Correct.
we'll have the list of colleges that are going to be coming posted. Once we confirm, right, and so kids can then go to those college websites and see what their standard is, right? Oh, okay,
Right.
I know I need this level of GPA and this level of ACT to get into there, and so hey, I qualify, so that's a coach that I want to maybe key in on. or maybe like, oh, that's a little bit higher than where I'm at, so let me look at these other schools. Oh, there's a school that I think I might fit in. And so that's some of that preparation too that you're kind of mentioning now that I think players don't always think about, right?
Correct.
Doing the research on the campuses and seeing, what are their academic standards and if they fit. And oh, by the way, if you're young, then also what do you need to work for?
Right.
If your dream is to go to a Harvard University or a university that has a higher standard, it's great to know that now as a freshman. So like I'm not just
Yeah.
working for a high GPA to make my parents happy. It's also going to help me, reach my goal and that kind of stuff, right?
Exactly.
Um,
Yep.
so good stuff. I appreciate that kind of information for people here. And I think like this, just so you guys know, this is going to be kind of the first event of its type here. And so I think educating the community as far as what we offer, what you're going to be able to offer by coming here, is important as well. What are some of the you mentioned the grades and things like that, but what are some of the qualities asking in the player that these coaches are going to be looking for? Work ethic, things like that. Like what are some of those non-playing qualities that maybe a player can focus on as well?
Well, as far as non-playing, and they definitely looking more into that as well. Like Justin said, being disciplined, um, being committed, hardworking, being passionate, um, being on time. I personally know a player that didn't take that back, didn't miss, but was late for practice 4 times and got kicked out of the soccer program. When they say 4 o'clock, they mean you got your gear on, you're ready to go. You already did, if you're the captain, you already ran warm ups and all that. You're there waiting for the head coach or the assistant coaches, whoever is doing the training that day, you're ready to go. If it's time to be in the gym, you're in the gym early, you're prepared. Here comes that word again. You're prepared ahead of time for what you have to do. Um, and not looking for problems. You have to kind of keep your ego in check. So I'll have to say being humble and realize you were big fish in a little pond, and now you're back to being a little fish in a big pond until you grow into that big fish again.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
And
that's some of the non football soccer skill stuff that is just within you as the person that you have to come to the table with.
Right. And one thing I'll add to it, Ashton, the discipline part is really important. And also, when you're in school, it's going to be the first time that a lot of these kids are away from their parents, right? You're on your own during that time. So you have to have the discipline and you have to have the focus and you have to be self determined, to get the job done. You're there for 4 years, and 4 years goes by really, really fast. So, kids who are ready for that challenge in college, it's not just the soccer part, it's not just the education part, it's the life skills as well. All right. There's so many pieces and so many components to it. So if you're ready for that, then yes, college is the next step.
And I think you bring up an important point there in like you said in the life skills part of it, and as a parent, as somebody who grew up playing soccer, and then now my kids play soccer, like one of the reasons I wanted them to be involved in sports or be involved in something was to keep them moving forward, right?
Right.
Is to keep limit the amount of distractions, and one of the things that I don't think we always think about in the college playing experience is there's that same value in the college level. Like I want my daughter in high school participating in something to keep her moving forward, to keep her from getting distracted. Well, that's
Right.
the same thing happens in college, right? If you are playing in college, if you're plugged in, you're part of something, you're around other people who are moving forward, and you're more likely to keep moving forward,
Correct.
right?
Hmm.
What are some? I'm interested in. You said you've been doing these. It's been a couple of years now. Since 2020 since y'all started. What are some of maybe like the successes that y'all have had? Maybe some kids that you've been able to work with and find out later, like, hey, they were able to connect to the coach and end up going to that university. Or maybe a coach gave you some feedback. Hey, we really enjoyed your event. We were able to talk to these players. That kind of stuff. What are maybe some of the successes that you've seen?
I have been a part of many college combines. I recently collaborated and did one individually with a good friend of mine here in the Washington D.C. area, and he had about 50 players at his combine. George Washington University coach was there, St. Bonaventure's coach was there, um, Howard University coach was there. So a lot more of the local East Coast coaches were there. And out of the 50, I think about 9 of them ended up getting offers. So again, it's not where you come to combine, there's 150 players, and 150 players are going to get offers and scholarships. That's just not reality, right? That's not the world. But the fact that they got seen by a college coach gives them an opportunity to put themselves on the radar of that coach. So the coach may not have selected them at that point in time, but maybe that coach is still looking at them for a year or 2 years down the road. Maybe the player goes to a junior college and then decides to transfer to a 4 year college. All that happens. But the key, like Ashton mentioned, is to get seen. You have to really put yourself on display. If you believe that you're ready for college, then this is going to be the next step, for you. If you're ready to play college soccer, this is the next step. Put yourself out there and get evaluated.
Awesome. So I guess that brings me to my next question. Then is like who is this event actually for, right? So when we think college soccer, sometimes we think, all right, so the seniors are going to be the ones who should be coming, but what ages should be coming? Actually, you mentioned freshmen earlier, going to these things. So what age group do you think is what age group is going to be open to, and then what's your advice as far as when students should participate in these types of events?
Um, well, based on my experience and what I've seen over the years, I think age 14, simply because, yeah, they might not really be ready for college yet, but it takes that nervousness out at an early point. Compared to a senior or junior, they wait until then to get that experience. They're going to be nervous, and it's a smaller window of time to adjust. But if you do one at 14 and maybe at 15 you do two that year, and at 16 you do three, and at 17, 18 you're doing like four or five, by that time you're comfortable. You've been there several times before. So the whole atmosphere of coaches standing with clipboards staring at you, you're not even paying them any mind. You're focused in your game. You're focused on what you need to do out there. You're focused on all the things the coach wants to see, the talking, the communication on the field, all these things. So even if you made a mistake when you were 14, excuse me, if you made some mistakes when you were 14, now you're 17, you should already learn from those mistakes and corrected them and fixed them. And now it's just part of your DNA. Now you're really out there showcasing, and you're at the age where uh, colleges going to reach out to you, make you offers, invite you to come and get a tour and things like that. So, um, I mean, based on my opinion, what I've seen and what I've heard, and colleges themselves are starting to look at players or track players at a younger age than before, than years gone by. They start tracking them like from 16 now, 15, 16. Again, depending on level of play and things like that.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? Like I said, freshman years, 14, 15 years old, go and get that experience because it can be different. And like you mentioned, this is going to be for the individual, right? And so
Right.
it's a team event where maybe you have the comfort of your friends and the comfort of playing with a familiar group. You may be out there playing with 11, 10 other kids that you've never played with before, and you don't even know their names. And so if you're waiting till junior year, senior year, like that type of environment may throw you off, right? You may not have the best performance. But if
Correct.
you start having this experience early on and then kind of grow into them, by the time you're, sophomore, junior, senior year, when it does start to become more of a time where they're really interested in looking and making offers and things like that, like you've had that experience, you're comfortable in it, you can perform at your best. So definitely, great advice. Um, I want to talk a little bit about the partnership, Justin. We've been going back for almost a year now. We've been going back and forth to try and get our contract set and get everything set up. And it was a very happy week for us last week when we finally were able to get everything on paper and lined up. and make this happen. So I'm really excited about it. Tell me a little bit about how you're feeling about it. Coming into a new area. And kind of launching, like I said, this new college aspect of your camps. Tell me some of the excitement level you're feeling.
I mean, we're excited. We're excited. I mean, as an organization, we are not afraid to go into different territories and collaborate and work with folks. Ashton is based in Florida. I'm based in Maryland. So again, a lot of the work that we've done previously has been in between both of those states. We've had great partners, on the ground. We've got good partners here in Maryland. We're building up our partnerships in Florida with a lot of different clubs and a different organizations. So it's fantastic to work with you all because you're in that South Texas area. And again, I always believe that partnerships are really the key to have success. No one person can do everything, but having a partner like you guys, like Idea Public School on the ground, is more fantastic than ever. Because not only do we get to expand our footprint as an organization, we also help to bring value to Idea Public Schools. And again, that's the key to any quality partnership. It has to be something that's mutual. So we believe that we bring value in this arena in terms of running camps and combines, something that we have done. Although the NACTM has only been around for almost 3 years, Ashton and I combined, we have, almost, 80 years combined of experience when it comes to running these camps, combines, and clinics. Through another organization that I run called Quick Feed Soccer for Kids, we do about 25 a year. Yeah, they're for younger kids, but it's still that same type of format where you have to organize, you have to provide the jerseys, the uniforms, you have to take registration down. So this is, simple for us in that sense, that we've been doing it, and this is kind of what we do for a living, and this is what we do, frequently. But now going into another territory is really going to get us excited because we now can see different players. We can learn the market. So we're excited. We're very excited to work with you all.
Awesome, and we are too. And you mentioned, like you said, partnerships. Are best if they are mutual. They help both organizations, and we definitely feel like you're going to bring a lot of value to our program here. You're going to provide an event that is not only going to help Idea Public Schools, students, but also just athletes from all over the valley, even San Antonio, Houston. These types of camps are going to allow kids to work with college coaches, be seen by college coaches, and give them that chance to follow their dream and play at the next level. And so, this is going to be an open event. It's not just for Idea Public Schools kids. It's something that we're offering to the entire Rio Grande Valley, and I can definitely see players coming from both sides of the border, even up from Monterrey and things like that, to come and get this experience. So we're super excited
Fantastic.
about it. So I just want to also mention something that you guys had brought up in a different meeting, was that these camps are also open for college players, because sometimes there's college players who are at a campus maybe where it isn't the experience that maybe they were hoping for, and they're looking to transfer or something. And so this isn't just for high school age kids. This is also something that if there's any college players out there, or if you're not a college player, you're just a college age player, right?
Right.
And maybe
Right.
you're playing with the club team or something after school right now, and then didn't get a chance to go out and play for a university. Like, you can absolutely come out as well, because anyone who's of age to be recruited is definitely welcome. So I want to thank you guys for your time. I really appreciate you guys joining us and spending some time with us and explaining a little bit about what an ID camp is. And again, I'm really excited to finally have everything set and ready to go. And we're looking forward to our event, which will be in February. We'll be releasing the final days, times, coaches who will be attending, and things like that very soon. But we just got the deal inked, right, so to
Yep.
say.
All
And
set.
so now the planning begins, and we'll be releasing all that information as soon as we can. Right.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
the
guys.
invite.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Diego.
Absolutely appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Take care.